Over the past 4 years, the collapse of peace in Oromia region has resulted to close to 1 million internally displaced people which have entered Amhara region according to the Amhara Region Emergency Prevention and Food Security Commission, and in recent days, 800 IDPs from Wollega reached Bahir Dar, and the displaced people described to Deutsche Welle, passing through troublesome conditions to save their lives. Alamno Makonnen, who spoke to them, has prepared the following report. Her name is Nitsa Amare. It has been 15 days since she gave birth. She is among the pregnant women who spent night and day crossing the lowlands and highlands of Wollega to reach Bahir Dar. Nitsa explained there were many mothers who encountered similar circumstances and said she was lucky to reach her destination alive. As she recalls, there were many who did not make it. Mr. Tilahun Danyacho, who came from Kirimu Warita in Oromia region, was born and raised in Wollega, said he was displaced as a result of attacks by the militants who operate in the area. He says, "We were born and raised in Wollega. Our friends had come from various places. However, we, as Amharas, arrived here. We were massacred so that no single Amhara would remain in that land. There was one town called Hara where Amharas remained, but now we were massacred and left that spot carrying only the clothing on our backs." Another displaced person was Mizite Wafureo, who escaped her home as it was being bombarded in Amuru and fled to the jungle where she spent a night before traveling to Haru, but then another threat reached them which caused them to leave the area. She explained to Deutsche Welle, "I went into the jungle. I was alone and did not have a phone. After I left, I found my husband in Amuru. When my neighbors were killed, we left on foot to a place called Haru. Then another disturbance happened there, and as many of my friends were killed, I escaped with my husband and child." Out of the voices of displaced persons in Amhara region, there is Mr. Abebe Alamayo, who was displaced from Jardega Jarte Wareda in Horo Guduru Wollega, said many people were killed, that he was unable to escape with his family members, and Mr. Abebe called on the government to help everyone that was left behind. "I came from Jardega Jarte in Horo Guduru Wollega. Nobody remains. We have been killed. Priests and monks weren't spared, but we ran and stayed in Haru. We just arrived recently, but my sisters and my husband didn't make it here. We came by foot. The government should escort the remaining people out. Nobody is left because they are bombarded by heavy artillery, and those that run are gunned down." The Oromia Regional Government Communication Affairs head, Mr. Hailu Adunya, in a statement yesterday announced that the security problem in the 4 Wollega zones had improved. However, the Amhara Region Emergency Prevention and Food Security Commission Warning and Response Director Mr. Gate Merite explained that the displaced people continue to arrive. At this time, over 900,000 IDPs have arrived from all zones of Oromia region, especially in the 4 Wollega zones, East Wollega, West Wollega, Horo Guduru Wollega and Kelam Wollega. A large number of displaced people continue to arrive. In the past month alone, 15,000 IDPs have been registered. Today, no less than 800 people from Waredas in eastern Wollega are taking shelter in our courtyard. He also explained to Deutsche Welle that citizens displaced from districts of Wag Hemra zone who were arriving were also being sent to various districts in Amhara region, but now the commission is sending them to shelters in North Wallo. When displaced people from across Oromia came as a region, we opted to prepare a single shelter center, and so we had a shelter in North Wallo called Jaro. We agreed we would send them to this place. We are working to transport them to this area, and we will also bring these 800 displaced people to this place very soon. The displaced people are out in the open with no shelter. They lie on the ground of the entrance of the Regional Emergency Prevention and Food Security Commission office. The community, local youth and local business owners in Bahir Dar were seen feeding the displaced people on their own. Reporting from journalists Alamno Makonnen and Hirat Mahalisa of Deutsche Welle Amharic.